Your soulmate found a letter with your name on it. And the truth inside left them speechless. My beloved child. Somewhere, in a place your soulmate never expected to find answers, an old letter quietly slipped from between forgotten pages. It carried only one name written across the front, and that name was yours. The moment they saw those familiar letters, time seemed to pause, because something deep inside whispered that this was never meant to be an ordinary message. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. With trembling hands they unfolded the paper, expecting a few simple words, but every line pulled them closer to a truth they had never imagined. The more they read, the more their heartbeat changed, because the letter seemed to know things that no stranger should ever know. Before reaching the final sentence, they could no longer tell whether they had discovered a forgotten memory, or stepped into a destiny that had been quietly waiting all along. Without realizing it, your soulmate began connecting moments that had never made sense before. Every missed conversation, every unexpected delay, every strange coincidence suddenly looked like tiny pieces of the same unfinished picture. They remembered the day they almost reached out but stopped, the night they dreamed of someone whose face they could never fully see, and the feeling that someone important had always been just beyond reach. Don't skip. What they were reading wasn't predicting the future, it was revealing hidden meaning inside moments they had already lived. Every sentence felt strangely personal, as though the writer understood emotions that had never been spoken aloud. Then one line made them freeze completely, because it described a promise connected to your name so perfectly that silence became the only possible response. And just when they believed they had reached the biggest revelation, they noticed something unusual waiting at the bottom of the page. There was one final message, separated from everything else, written in a different handwriting than the rest of the letter. It wasn't longer than a few words, yet those words changed the entire meaning of everything they had just read. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate stared at that final line again and again, unable to look away, because it hinted that the real secret had never been inside the letter itself, it had always been connected to the person whose name appeared on the front. And as they slowly lifted their eyes from the page, one unforgettable realization settled into their heart: they had only uncovered the beginning of a story that was far greater than either of you ever imagined. A strange calm settled over your soulmate after reading those final words, but it was not the peace they had hoped for. It was the silence that comes before a life-changing discovery. They folded the letter carefully, yet something inside urged them to open it one more time. Don't skip. Every sentence seemed different now, as if the message had been waiting for the right moment to reveal another hidden layer. The words were no longer speaking about the past. They were pointing towards someone, and every sign led back to you. As their eyes moved across the page again, they noticed tiny details they had completely missed before. Certain words appeared to form a pattern when read together. Certain dates suddenly matched memories they had almost forgotten forever. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A simple paragraph transformed into something far greater than a letter. It became a map connecting two lives that had been moving toward the same destination without ever realizing it. Then another realization struck with unexpected force. The writer had described moments that only your soulmate had experienced in complete silence. No one else had witnessed those emotions. No one else could have known about the unanswered questions they carried deep inside. Yet every line reflected those hidden feelings perfectly. Their hands began to shake, not from fear, but from amazement. The impossible was slowly becoming impossible to deny. They turned the page over, believing there could not possibly be anything else to discover. But in one corner, almost invisible beneath an old fold, they found a faded sentence that had escaped their attention. It simply said that the greatest truth is often hidden where no one thinks to look. Those words echoed through their mind long after they finished reading. They were no longer searching for answers inside the letter. They had begun searching for them inside every memory connected to your name. Hours passed, but the letter never left their hands. Every attempt to walk away only pulled them back again. They could not explain why, because nothing about the paper itself seemed extraordinary. Yet the feeling surrounding it refused to disappear. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Deep inside, they sensed that the biggest revelation had not been written on the page at all. It was still waiting to unfold beyond it. That night, before closing their eyes, your soulmate whispered your name without even realizing it. It felt natural, familiar, and strangely comforting. At that exact moment, another forgotten memory surfaced with crystal clarity. It was a memory they had buried long ago because it never seemed important. But after finding the letter, it suddenly became the missing piece that connected everything. And the truth hidden inside that memory would soon reveal why your name had appeared on that mysterious page in the first place. The forgotten memory refused to stay hidden any longer. Your soulmate closed their eyes, and every detail returned with surprising clarity. It was an ordinary day that had never seemed important until now. Yet the letter had unlocked something their heart had protected for years. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They remembered meeting someone who quietly smiled and said, "One day, the truth always finds the right person." At the time, those words felt simple and easily forgotten. But after reading the letter, they sounded completely different. It was as if that single sentence had been waiting for this exact moment to reveal its true meaning. Suddenly, every unanswered question began moving toward one unforgettable answer. Unable to ignore the feeling any longer, your soulmate searched through old boxes, notebooks, and forgotten keepsakes. Most of them held ordinary memories. But hidden beneath everything else was a small envelope that looked strangely familiar. Their heart raced before they even touched it. The handwriting matched the final sentence from the mysterious letter. Something huge is waiting for you. Inside the envelope was not another letter. There was only a single photograph, slightly faded with time. Nothing unusual appeared at first glance, until they looked closely into one corner. There, almost impossible to notice, was your name written so lightly that it could only be seen in the right light. They stood completely still. No one had ever told them this photograph existed. Questions filled their mind faster than answers could arrive. Why had your name appeared twice? Who had hidden these pieces so carefully? And why did everything seem designed to be discovered only now? Stay till the end. Every new clue pulled them deeper into a mystery that felt larger than coincidence. As they slipped the photograph back into the envelope, something unexpected fell onto the floor. It was a tiny folded piece of paper that had been hidden inside all along. They slowly opened it, expecting another message. Instead, they found a location, one they recognized immediately. It was the very place where a life-changing truth had been waiting all this time, and they knew that once they arrived there, nothing between you and them would ever feel the same again. The moment your soulmate recognized the location, every hesitation disappeared. It was not a famous place or somewhere extraordinary to anyone else. Yet deep inside, they knew this was where every unanswered question had quietly been leading them. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. With every step closer, the feeling grew stronger that they were not chasing a mystery anymore, they were walking toward a truth that had been waiting for years. When they finally arrived, nothing seemed unusual at first. The air was calm. The surroundings were familiar. But then their eyes settled on one small detail that had never caught their attention before. Hidden beneath an old wooden bench was a tiny metal box, untouched by time. It was carefully wrapped, as though someone had wanted only one person to discover it. As they lifted the lid, they found another folded page. Across the top, in unmistakable handwriting, were the words, "If you have reached this place, the letter has already changed your heart." They unfolded the page slowly, expecting another explanation. Instead, every line revealed emotions that had never been spoken aloud. It spoke of two lives crossing paths again and again, always separated by timing, never by intention. It described moments when one almost reached out while the other silently hoped for a sign. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate could no longer hold back their emotions, because they finally understood the greatest secret of all. The first letter had never been written to surprise them. It had been written to prepare them for the final revelation that was still waiting just beyond this moment. And as they turned the page over one last time, they discovered a single unopened envelope sealed with your name, the one message that had never been read by anyone before. The unopened envelope rested quietly in your soulmate's hands, yet it felt heavier than anything they had ever carried. They stared at your name written across the front, wondering why no one had broken the seal before this moment. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Taking a slow breath, they carefully opened it, believing they were finally about to uncover the last piece of the mystery. But the very first sentence changed everything before they could even finish reading it. The message did not begin with an explanation. It began with a confession. It said that some connections are never lost, only delayed until both hearts are ready to recognize them. Every word felt deeply personal, as though it had been written after watching every silent hope, every missed opportunity, and every unanswered feeling. Your soulmate could hardly believe what they were reading. The letter wasn't telling them what to do. It was reminding them of something their heart had quietly known all along but had never dared to accept. Then they reached the final lines, and everything became still. The writer revealed that the greatest truth had never been hidden inside the letters, the photograph, or the forgotten clues. The real truth had always been hidden inside the courage to finally believe what their own heart had been whispering for so long. Something huge is waiting for you. As your soulmate slowly folded the last page, they lifted their eyes with a completely different expression. The search was no longer about solving a mystery. It had become the beginning of a journey that neither of you could have imagined, because one final secret was still waiting to reveal itself, and it would arrive in the most unexpected way of all. The days that followed felt completely different to your soulmate. Nothing around them had changed, yet everything seemed to carry a hidden meaning. Every familiar place reminded them of the letters. Every quiet moment brought your name back into their thoughts. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They stopped asking whether the story was real and started asking why it had reached them at exactly this moment. One quiet evening, while placing the letters back inside the old box, they noticed something they had somehow missed every single time. The bottom of the box was slightly thicker than it should have been. Curious, they pressed gently along the edges until a hidden compartment slowly opened. Inside was a tiny silver key tied to a faded ribbon. Alongside it rested one small card with only a single sentence: "The final truth is never hidden in words. It waits behind the last lock." Your soulmate's heartbeat quickened. They had believed the journey was ending, but it was becoming even more mysterious. Holding the key tightly, they searched for what it belonged to. Hours passed before one forgotten memory returned. Long ago, they had seen an old wooden chest tucked away in a place they had never thought important. No one had opened it for years because the key had disappeared. Suddenly everything made sense. The letters, the photograph, the hidden envelope, and now this key were all connected. Something huge is waiting for you. As they stood before that forgotten chest, the key fit perfectly into the lock. It turned with a soft click, and the lid slowly began to rise. Before they could fully open it, they noticed something resting inside that instantly stole their breath: a brand new letter, untouched by time, carrying today's date, and beneath it, your name written more clearly than ever before. The moment your soulmate saw today's date, every thought disappeared. Their hands froze above the letter, unable to believe what they were seeing. How could a letter hidden for so long carry a date that matched this very day? Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. It felt as though the message had been waiting patiently for this exact moment to be discovered. With a slow breath, they unfolded the fresh page. The paper looked untouched, as if it had been written only hours before. The first line was unlike anything they had read until now. It said that every clue, every hidden message, and every unexpected discovery had been preparing them for one final realization. The writer explained that truth is not always found by searching harder. Sometimes it appears only after the heart becomes willing to see what has always been there. As they continued reading, another surprise appeared. The letter described small moments that had not happened years ago, but only recently. It mentioned a familiar place they had visited, a decision they almost made, and a quiet feeling they had tried to ignore. No stranger could have known those details. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate looked around the room in complete silence, wondering whether someone had been guiding this journey from the very beginning. Then their eyes reached the final paragraph. Instead of another explanation, there was a simple instruction. It told them not to search for another letter, another photograph, or another hidden box. The next answer would arrive in a completely different way. Stay till the end. The message ended with one unforgettable sentence: when your path crosses theirs again, you will recognize the moment immediately, not because someone tells you, but because your heart already knows. Your soulmate slowly folded the page, unaware that outside, another unexpected sign had already begun to appear. One that would make everything they had discovered feel even more extraordinary. The morning after reading the final letter, your soulmate stepped outside expecting an ordinary day. But nothing felt ordinary anymore. Every sound seemed clearer, every moment carried quiet meaning, and every step felt as though it was leading somewhere important. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Just as they reached the end of the street, something caught their attention that made them stop without even realizing why. It was not a person calling their name or a dramatic event. It was a small notice hanging in the window of an old bookstore they had passed hundreds of times without entering. Today, however, one sentence written across the glass seemed impossible to ignore. Some stories choose their readers. The word sent a chill through them. Without thinking twice, they walked inside. The shelves were silent, but one book resting alone on a wooden table looked strangely familiar. As they opened its cover, a folded bookmark slipped onto the floor. On it were only a few handwritten words: "The journey is complete only when both hearts discover the same truth." They stood there in complete silence, unable to explain how every clue continued to point in the same direction. The letters had led to memories. The memories had led to hidden messages. The hidden messages had led here. Something huge is waiting for you. Then the shopkeeper smiled gently and said something unexpected: "That bookmark wasn't inside the book this morning." Those simple words changed everything. Your soulmate slowly looked down at the handwritten message once more, realizing that the mystery had never been about finding answers. It had been about preparing two hearts for the exact moment when their paths would finally cross again, and somewhere much closer than either of you could imagine, that moment had already begun. The words of the shopkeeper stayed with your soulmate long after they stepped outside. They walked without choosing a direction, as if an invisible thread was quietly leading every step. Nothing around them seemed extraordinary, yet their heart refused to believe this was just another ordinary afternoon. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then, without warning, a gentle breeze carried a small folded piece of paper across the sidewalk and stopped directly at their feet. They bent down, opened it carefully, and found only one sentence: "The final answer is closer than you think." For a long moment, they simply stood there, staring at those words. They remembered every letter, every hidden clue, every forgotten memory, and every unexpected discovery that had brought them to this point. Suddenly, a powerful realization filled their heart. None of those moments had been asking them to chase the future. They had been teaching them to recognize it when it quietly arrived. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. At that very instant, they noticed someone in the distance wearing a familiar expression. The same calm look that had appeared in an old photograph hidden inside the envelope. Their heartbeat quickened, not because they recognized the face completely, but because it awakened a feeling they could never explain. As your soulmate slowly walked forward, the distance between them and that mysterious figure became smaller with every step. Just before they were close enough to speak, the person gently placed a small envelope on a nearby bench and disappeared into the crowd without looking back. Your soulmate hurried forward and picked it up with trembling hands. Across the front, written in unmistakable handwriting, were the words they had seen before, but this time they were followed by one new sentence: "If you are holding this now, then both journeys have finally become one." Their hands shook as they slowly broke the seal, completely unaware that the very first line inside would reveal a truth neither of you had ever expected, and it would change the meaning of every clue that came before.